Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I'm super pumped on today's install. I've been waiting for this thing for so long. What I'm getting today is a tonneau cover for my truck. I've been searching long and hard, and I really like the tonneau cover system from the 3rd gen Tacomas where they're trifold. And I just love that concept. I don't like those fiberglass ones, like those, I forgot what they're called, the sun tops or whatever, where you lift it and it has jacks. I just don't like that, because if you have to put a couch in there, you're gonna have to basically remove it. I don't like that. This system that I got is really neat because you can basically remove the whole trifold system, the tonneau cover system, and fold it up here, which is, I think, really rad. And another thing, it's US made. It's a really good product. I've been seeing some bad reviews where over time the paint starts to chip and it starts to dent, so I ended up going with one that's called the Fibermax. So Fibermax, what it means is the top layer, instead of being aluminum like the other ones, this one's actually fiberglass. So I'm assuming when rocks hit or anything hits it, it's not gonna dent, it's gonna bounce back or crack. I think that one had the best reviews in my opinion. So let's go ahead and install it. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is we have to remove this OEM bracket. And all that bracket is to hook up these little sliding mechanisms, which are pretty cool. And unfortunately with this kit, let me move it real quick. You could just adjust them. I'm supposed to have 2 here, but they're not there anymore. I don't know where they went. So what sucks is that the system's gonna be on this bracket, so we have to remove these. We're no longer gonna be able to use them. So let's go ahead and remove these while we're at it. That's the first thing we're gonna do, is remove these guys, take these off. This little plastic clip, if you still have it, that comes off. You basically just loosen it up, and then to slide it, you can't slide it, you have to push down and then slide, and it comes right off. So these we're not going to be able to use anymore. So let me show you the product I purchased, called the BakFlip, made by, I think, Back Industries or something like that. Made in the USA. I already opened the box so I could check it out the night before, and this stuff looks good. So we got, this is a trifold, you'll see it in a bit. We got some hardware, and it's waterproof too, so this is like the draining for the water. And hardware is the next thing we're going to use, which I'm going to bring with me. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this guy. Like I said, the kit can't use this because that tonneau cover sits really flush in here, so we have to remove them. And they have these Torx threads, screws. Hopefully you guys can see them, they're in there. The Torx tool screwdriver thing you're going to use is called a T27. Now we've removed this part. You just put this away, save it just in case you sell the truck. Once again, these are T27's Torx screws, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 screws in total. So the next thing we got to do is put this foam on this edge right here. We got to clean this really good so the double-sided tape sticks really well. Clean it with glass cleaner. See all the dirt that came off. If you want to do it really good, I would recommend you put like some kind of rubbing alcohol to get off all the oils, but I'm not gonna go that crazy. If this does come off, I could buy this at Home Depot very easy. So he's gonna peel it back a little bit, line it up. And you're gonna have extra right here, as you can see. Just cut it off with the scissor. Alright, cool. So you have this little leftover, just throw this away. So this is what the hardware's gonna look like. I'll build it right in front of you. This goes in the rail, slide in. You have 2 washers. You have a big one and a small one, and a bolt. So the way you want to put it is you want to put the big one in the back, the small one in the front. And you're gonna get this little thread guy, and you're gonna run the screw through here, not through the cup. You want to do it from this side. So you feed the bolt, the little one first, then the big one, and then you're gonna screw this on. Leave it like kind of just like where it gets by this way. You want to have as long as the shaft as possible. So I cheated and I already did one side so you guys can see what it looks like. Basically this thing just slides in. There's the hardware. So it looks like from this side. I don't know if this is too far out. You can adjust all this stuff, but we'll see. But I think it's too far out because this needs to be like more as flush as possible. So there's one. Second one should be right here. Third one's like over here somewhere. All right, so now we're gonna do it on the next one. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide these in, just like so. There's 3 of them per side. Okay, so here's another important thing you want to set up before you do it. You want to make sure that the little bolts all the way to the front and the big bolts in the back, it needs to get sandwiched right down the middle. Just pull on the back one and push that one forward. Pull on the back one, push that one forward. Like that. All right, so now you just got to slide in it through the little slot. So you got 1, this one needs to go a bit more. Got 2 more. Number 3 is down. All right, next thing to do is to put the cover on. All right, so we need to take this off right here because this is where the hole goes through to bolt onto the chassis. Flip this over. We got to pull it back because it's too forward. Take this little cover off, flip it back. We're going to slide the bed back. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the little washer that's there in the hardware. You're going to take off these 2 washers because it's going to go on the bottom. All you need is that rubber washer here. And push it from the front in. Same for the other side. And this is going to go through here. Right there. All right, so that's where the bolt comes through, the one we put over the top. We have to put on 3 things on this side. First thing is the rubber washer, then the metal big one, and then the lock washer, and then this guy. Okay, that's one of them. So you just want to do it till the lock washer is crushed and even with the other washer, nice and snug. So now it's time to check that it fits properly. So you want to make sure your tailgate's closed first. You just drop it. That's it. Last step we have to do, we have to put these little bumpers on the metal so it doesn't hit this metal on my body. Right here, as you see, it's hitting here for sure. Clean it with windshield cleaner. Clean this part just to get the oils off of it. It's just like the other foam, it's like a double-sided tape. Put it like in the middle, like right there. There you go. So now when it hits, it only hits the tailgate. So basically, these little clips, when you pull this little rope, it pulls that, and that hinges on this little rail here. Also, you could drive it like this too. All you have to do is put this guy, pop it out, put this here, adjust however this needs to go, and then you can roll like that down the street. This is what I like about it, where you can roll and get a couch, or you get something that's pretty big, and the wind is not gonna push this back at all. It's gonna stay right where it's at. You know what I mean? So the next thing we gotta do is put this guy here so we can lock this guy like so. Remove that buckle. But before we do that, I have to put these little plugs with threads from the bottom on each side. So let me go do that. Alright, so we finally finished installing the back flip. There's one more thing that we have to do, which is these are for the rain to drain out of the actual tailgate or the bed of the truck. See these rails right here? This collects water, I believe. It's gonna drain out through the other side. I'll show you. But I'm not gonna finish it because I don't have a drill bit in my drill. But I'm just gonna show you how it goes. These trucks are all plastic for the bed. There's no metal under here, so it's not gonna be that hard to do. You have a pre-hole that's here already, one there and one on this side. Those holes you're gonna make bigger so you can fit this right through. And all this does, I don't know if it's hard to see, you just put that in there like that. And once you drain it, this goes through that hole, and then that's how you drain it. So I have one more mod to put in so you guys can check it out. Look how legit this is. It says Tacoma on it. This is so dope. So this is basically a rubber mat so stuff stops sliding around. I think it was a good buy for 150 bucks. Really good mod. So we finished installing the BakFlip tonneau cover for my 2006 second gen Toyota Tacoma. I want to go over with you guys real quick and explain the different setups and why I went with this actual tonneau cover. Like I said before, I like the third gen tonneau cover where it's a trifold, and this is the same concept. The only difference, this one's a little more flush. They have different options on their website where you can go like metal, heavy duty metal, and fiberglass. I opted out for the fiberglass because they said that the metal ones get dented and I didn't want it to get dented, and I figure fiberglass will have a little bit of give. And another thing too is that I've had it for 6 months, so I can give you a true testimony of how it does in the winter and how it does in the summer. This tonneau cover actually cost me, I think it was about close to $1,200. I think it's on the expensive side, but there's not too much competition for this. I think there's like 4 other companies that do this, and they're all about the same price, maybe give or take $300. I think if they could make this product like in the $700 range, this would be a really awesome product. I went with it because it's probably the best stuff you can buy. Back Industries is the one that I think invented the trifold, or one of the companies that started it, because they have a big footprint in that market. I was really happy the quality of it and the way it looks. The only downside on it is like the first, I installed it in December, I believe, and in December we were starting to get here rain in California. Once it started raining, my tools and my boxes in there were getting a little bit of wet. Not a ton of water is getting in, but water is getting in. It's not 100% waterproof. And here in California, it doesn't rain that bad, so it's not a big deal. But I can see it like if you live in Oregon or in Washington or something like that, and it rains constantly, or Seattle, I probably wouldn't go with this because you're gonna get a lot of water seeping into your stuff, or just don't carry stuff when the truck's out. Then another thing I didn't like about the company is that their email, they weren't like responding fast enough, and it took them forever to deliver it. I think it took like a week or 2 weeks to deliver it. And they said on their website or on the email that they actually build them as you order them. There was another issue where on the actual frame of it, I'll show you in a bit, it was when they were assembling it, like they kind of grinded it, and it's like a little bit like grinded down, and you can see bare metal. It's not like black, so it's like shiny. Not a big deal, I kind of just let it go, but you're paying $1,200 and you want it to be really clean. So let me show you the different setups that you can do with it, and why I went with this, and why I think it's a good product overall. So first, we'll go here, and then you guys will be able to hear me because I'm actually mic'd up right now if you're wondering what this fuzzy thing is. I'm on a lapel with a dead cat on it, so it doesn't, the wind is not a factor here. So when you first use this tailgate, you can't close your tailgate because it has a gasket here and you're gonna bend it. So before you close your tailgate, you have to have this open, close this, and drop it. That's something you have to keep in mind, which is a little annoying, but I've seemed to get used to it. So anyways, so if I'm gonna flip it open, it has these little levers here. Let me put my keys down real quick. It has these little levers right here, as you can see. You basically pull on them. This one at first it was like hiding in here, and eventually over time it finally like stays there, but it's just a little wire. This one I haven't trained it, so this one's tucked away, and sometimes it's hard to get to, as you can see here. But I always do it on this side anyway, so so you can open it like that. Then you have another one where you could open it, and you could actually, like, I've used it like this where I have wood hanging out the back, which is pretty cool. And you can put these little levers right here, or these little buckles, like seatbelt buckles, and they clip the other one, and it's not gonna go anywhere. It's pretty safe. So that's one of the setups you can do. This is like what sold me on this product, was that you can actually fold it all the way up, and then you use these little levers here. Like the other day for our wedding, we had this really big like crates for a background. It had like a little like patina to the wood. It looked rustic. And I put it here, and this is how I rolled with it. And you basically close that, and I drove all the way from about 40, like an hour and a half drive to go drop those guys off and pick them up, which was pretty neat. That this thing never once gave. It's not gonna go anywhere. No matter how much wind hits it, it's not gonna go anywhere. So this is what really sold me on this product, because sometimes you gotta load big stuff like couches, furniture, or car or engine stuff. That's perfect. Like if you got, let's say you got a motor from Japan, and you got a transmission and an actual engine on it, this is gonna fit. But if you have one of those old school fiberglass tailgates that Suntop sells, or I forget the name of the company, Snug Top, you're gonna have to take it off because it's gonna be at an angle where you can't really do anything. So I'll show you right now. Some of the people on YouTube said that these would always fall off. I've yet to have that issue. I don't know if they solved it. I haven't had that issue at all. That was one of the complaints they had on YouTube that I saw a bunch of people doing reviews. Let me close this one real quick. Mine has not fallen down yet. And the other disclaimer on YouTube that was saying that wasn't working is these buckles. They would go in and then like pop off. Mine does not pop off at all. So they might have ironed it out. The only thing security wise, I don't think these are the smartest or safest things in the world, because these little clips right here that buckle down to the rails, dude, they're plastic. You can snap it with the pry bar easy, but it gets the job done. I just didn't want people looking in and some kind of security. I have cameras at my house and I park in my driveway, so I'm pretty safe. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'll show you a close-up right now of the part that I said that was kind of annoying, that was scratched when I got it, because I guess they build them on the spot or whatever. The quality control is not top tier for sure. So that pretty much wraps up this episode. Like I said, it's a really good product. The biggest thing is it's so expensive. It's about a $1,200 product. I wish they could make it a little cheaper. Maybe in the $700 or $800 range is reasonable. And then let me walk up so you guys can see what I was talking about. If you were I was mentioning earlier that the quality control is not that great. You can see right there, see that little scrape right there? Not a big deal. I kind of just let it go, but they're everywhere. You can see it right there as well. You can see it right here. And then if BakFlip or Back Industry sees this video, you can comment on that. Leave a comment down there. Fight your case. Why your quality control did that? Because that looks like a drill when they were making bits. I think is when that happened. Because it looks like a drill. I didn't do that. That was on there when I got it. And I was not gonna go and return it and deal with all that. It's not a big deal. It's a truck, for crying out loud. But like I said, when you're paying $1,200, you want this thing to be perfect, right? But look how beautiful it is. It looks so clean in fiberglass. So it's like fiberglass, and in the middle, I think it has a little bit of metal. And then this is metal. This is metal, this gasket. It's beautifully made. It's a really good looking product. People say this stuff fades. It hasn't faded yet on me, but I do put quick detailer on this all the time. That's the only way I clean it. I'll do a foam gun and then quick detailer, and it brings it back to life. Like you can see in the middle, it's dirty. So I haven't reached that part yet, but I kind of like half-ass washed it for you guys so you guys can see in the video. So hopefully you guys like it. This one's the Fibermax. So you can see right there. So that pretty much wraps up this video. If you guys can smash the like button, it really helps out the channel a lot. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.